Hello, I'm on episode number 497 of the TEW 8-Way Challenge Run. I will address this right off rip so you could all hear it instead of hiding it at the end, because I don't know when people click off at the end of the video. You are all eagle-eyed people, and you can see the numbers on this program. You can see what episode number this is. So you can see what number next week's episode will be. But doing a standard TV special for episode number 500 feels a bit like anticlimactic. And what I want to do is something special. It has to be something to do with like the series. It can't just be like a one-off video that isn't Challenge Run, because then it won't be Challenge Run episode number 500. It'll just be a separate video. I want to do something different for 500. I know I just did State of the Universe and the year in review shit. That's the main thing I could think of, is like an entire series recap going over where we started to where we are now, but maybe like more in depth. And yeah, if you've got any other good ideas though, that's why I was opening off with this off rip. Do let me know any ideas that are beyond just do a special episode of ECW for mark 500 episodes, because I did that for 400, and the 500 is like big. It's 500, so I was like, that feels sort of like meh for 500. So yeah, if there's anything else you can think of that you thought that sort of makes sense for 500, do let me know. And if I don't think any of them are particularly interesting, then we'll probably just do it, or I'll do like a WrestleMania preview episode, like going through like the stories for WrestleMania specifically and how we got here. Like that could be fun, like going down the match card. I'll try and get everything announced before then, and then like just run down the WrestleMania card and like, oh yeah, this is how we got here, so like you can just jump on there and then be hyped for WrestleMania. Anyway, this is going to be ECW for week 3 of March 2024. The week following the Living Dangerously special. Jey Uso returned in the main event. Liv Morgan returned to attack Kushida. The God, Kyle O'Reilly, made his quote-unquote debut. It's actually a return, but, this close to Easter. Oh no, that's Jesus. Never mind. But anyway, yes. Tonight we have the God in action against Rip Fowler, as well as an appearance from the Dudleys, and Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander addressing the ECW Tag Team Championship situation for WrestleMania. So without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the show. Jey Uso opens the show. And he goes, "Yeet! Ladies and gentlemen, Jey Uso is now in your city." And I see last week was a big week. Main event Jey Uso, he made his mark in the main event of that Living Dangerously special, Oos. And then I stared down there, I came down, I looked in that ring, Oos. And who did I see in that ring? I saw my cousin who I turned on all those months ago. I don't think they're all trying to yeet between every single sentence. My cousin whose face I can't stand look at anymore, my manipulative, abusive tribal chief. And then on the other side of the ring, I saw myself. But it wasn't myself. It was my twin brother. I saw Jimmy. And Jimmy, my own flesh and blood, the man I share my identity with, betrayed me, Oos. Back in the Elimination Chamber, he cost me the chance of becoming ECW champion. I guess what? He thinks he's protecting me? Because he thinks he's the big brother around here? Well, I ain't gonna fly with me, Oos. So Jimmy, get your ass out here right now. Out he comes, Jimmy Uso. He goes, "Jey, you're talking a lot of smack in there for someone who still loves you. Oos. This ain't about hatred, this is about love, and I'm looking after my baby brother, Oos. I'll always be your big brother. And that's why, if any of us had to take the title off Roman Reigns, it had to be me, Oos." And Jey goes, "Well, you was talking about how we can't let one of us be champion, because We can't let it turn us into what Roman's become now, Oos. But I found to think all that was all a bunch of bullcrap and you just want to be the champion yourself because you were jealous of me, Oos. And Jimmy goes, I'm looking into your eyes right now. They're my eyes, Oos. I see my eyes. Okay. And I see exactly what you think of me, Oos. You want to throw down, Oos. You want to try and see who's going to become the next ECW World Champion, whether it'll be me or you. I hate that it had to come to this 38 years. We shared a womb together, Oos. And you can't see where I'm coming from, Oos. You think I'm selfish? Well, then hell yeah I am, Oos. If my own twin brother thinks I'm selfish, then maybe I am just a little bit selfish, Oos. Maybe I would love to be the ECW champion, Oos. Because, hey, never forget who threw the first kick. Never forget who had the balls to kick the tribal chief in the face first, Oos. Because if I didn't do that, if I didn't have the guts to kick Roman in the face, you'd still be getting abused, Oos. You're welcome for that one. And Jay goes, do you really think so little of me, Oos? You think that I don't have the stomach to kick the tribal chief in the face, Oos? There's only one person who I never would have kicked in the face, Oos. And that's you. But now I can't wait to do just that. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and ladies and gentlemen, I come to you tonight on behalf of your ECW champion, your tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Now you see, my tribal chief and your tribal chief, he's found himself in a bit of a convoluted situation because you see, his twin cousins, Jimmy and Jay, two outcasts, two rebellions of the Anoa'i bloodline, seem to think that either one of them are next in line at not only the ECW championship, but at the head of the table at the right to be the tribal chief. Jay, you had your shot at dethroning Roman Reigns back at the Elimination Chamber, and God had it so that you would lose on that night, because Jimmy, he made the best decision he's made in his life, which was then followed up just 3 days later with the worst decision he ever made in his life, and that was to not pledge his allegiance once again to his tribal chief and to his family, to his bloodline, but to instead continue his own rebellion against the tribal chief, to kick the tribal chief in the face and to take aim at the championship for himself. The man who Roman Reigns called his favorite cousin betrayed my tribal chief. So now I stand before here now, a brotherhood broken apart, two twins like looking in a mirror wanting to rip each other's throats out. But the question is, can only one of you be the next in line of the ECW championship? Can only one of you take on the tribal chief? Because we're in a bit of a pickle here, ladies and gentlemen, and I know a solution. Because Jay, you say you want to kick the face off of Jimmy after what he did to you, and Jimmy, you don't like the way that Jay's talking to you. You don't like the way Jay, in your eyes, has betrayed you. Well, now welcome to the club, because the tribal chief does not like how either of you betrayed him and the family and the entire bloodline. So here's what we're going to do. Per my tribal chief, he has decided that at WrestleMania he does want a chance to smash and pin his rebellious cousin, but the question then falls on which one will my tribal chief want to face. But then my tribal chief, he tapped me on the shoulder and he said, Wise man, I've got a great idea. Why don't at WrestleMania I smash Jay and Jimmy, and I stack them, and I pin them, and I remain ECW champion and at the head of the table. And I said, oh my God, my tribal chief, who has the power to make such a match? Well, of course, the ECW general manager. So, Jimmy, So, Jay, you can boil up that animosity together because it's going to cost you. Because at WrestleMania 40, when the lights are on bright, the biggest WrestleMania of all time, the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania, Roman Reigns will defend the ECW World Championship against both Usos in a triple threat match. And he walks off. Jimmy and Jay sort of like glaring at each other. But yes, there it is. At WrestleMania, Roman Reigns will defend the ECW World Championship against both Jimmy and Jay Uso. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. The God is back for 1 week, and already he scores a 92 and gets an 88 rated match. But of course, the God, we get the full God entrance for the first time. And he beats Rip Fowler in 13:02 with a brainbuster. 92-69 for Rip Fowler. And after the mic, Kyle O'Reilly takes the mic. And he goes, "So I'm back. Now I know exactly what you're all wondering, Kyle. What's all this God stuff? Are you suddenly, an immortal being, incapable of defeat?" It's like, nah, I'm still just Kyle O'Reilly. But what I am is a confident Kyle O'Reilly. I know what I am. I've heard all you people talk about it online, saying every time I step into this ring, I'm like a god in this ring. So why not embrace that and wear it on my sleeve and become everything that you say that I am? And that's the best damn professional wrestler on ECW. And I know there's one man back there who's going to take great exception to those words that just left my mouth. That's the current television champion, that's ZSJ. Well, unluckily for him, he's got a date with Destiny. He's got a date with the God himself at WrestleMania. And I'm going to whoop his ass. I'm going to take that championship. And I'm going to prove to the world why I am what I say I am. And that is a God. Out comes ZSJ. And he goes, "What? Am I going loopy? I must be going crazy. I must have had too many Stellas last night. You know what it is? Because I swear, I see Kyle O'Reilly in that ring. And I see Kyle O'Reilly in that ring coming down dressed like he's a god. Kyle, you're boring, mate. That's not what you do. You're not the extravagant entrance. You're not that. You're not the smoke and mirrors. You're a wrestler. Okay? Quite frankly, it's embarrassing to see you try something new because I do respect it, Carl, because you were floundering here by yourself. Roddy turned on you because you thought you were too good for Roddy, and then you went on to do nothing because you can't compare to me. There's only room for one technical beast on this roster, Kyle, and it's me. So if you think you're some sort of god, well, I'm going to take God's leg at WrestleMania. I'm going to bend it and shove it up his ass. And I'm going to keep a hold of my television championship. You hear me? Kyle goes, "Yeah, I hear you." That means, Zach, you've been incredibly impressive over the last several months that you've held that championship. Any man you've stepped into the ring with, you've put him down. So why would I be any different? Because I need this, Zach. You came in. You were the big international signing. You were gifted the title of maturity, so just 3 months into your ECW run, you've ran with it, you've knocked it out of the park. That was never me. Despite having similar backgrounds to you, that was never me. I was brought in as a tag guy for NXT. I was a background player of a faction until I made myself more than that. I went from background player to God. Undeniable. And at WrestleMania, I'm eyeing up my first piece of singles championship gold here in WWE. And it's coming at the expense of you. So yeah, the God laying the law down on CSJ here tonight. And that is the WrestleMania match. I can't think of a better match for the television championship than ZSJ, who is scoring 90s in his own right, facing off against the God, who, whips out blue rated matches and 90 ratings in his sleep. But then get a quick training video. Well, not training video. They're backstage in, their locker room training. Ichiban, being Nakamura and Suzuki, have a tag match against the Grand Juries, Emerson Frost and Ken Kobain later on tonight, and they're just practicing for that match. And Aoi's obviously there as well as Roku Serizawa. When Florence walks in, and they all sort of look at her like weird. She's like, I don't mean to interrupt this. This looks like such a tough training regimen. I just have questions for all of you here. And I sort of like wait for her to ask. He's like, so, Yoko, she's sort of like one of you. Now, you carried her around here because, when Meiko wasn't around, she was going to fill in. I mean, I don't see Meiko here tonight, and I also don't see Yoko. Well, where's Yoko at nowadays? Because I hear she's going off doing her own thing. Jumping Blair. Okay. And I know that it's because of her old friendship with Julia in those Dominion days. But I was wondering if we had a problem. And now he steps up to Florence. She goes, Yoko's her own woman. She does what she wants to do. As for us, yeah, we do have a problem. And Florence is like, great. I know one way to settle this then. And it's not in this silly little backstage room, it's out there in the ring. So yeah, there's Aoi, Maikawa, and Florence. That is actually the main event tonight. I have enough faith that will do good, but I'm putting that on last. Then cut to the ring, and out come the Dudleys. Bubba Ray and Devon, they get a big pop. They're here on ECW. Bubba has the mic, and he goes, I thought me and Devon would come out here in front of the old ECW crowd and, reintroduce yourself if you've been living under the rock for the last 24 years. My name is Bubba Ray, this is Devon, we are the damn Dudley Boys. The greatest tag team to ever step foot here in WWE, the greatest tag team to ever step foot over in Japan, and definitely the greatest tag team to have built their legacy in the original ECW. Now, I've seen a loudmouth like Matt Cardona coming out here for months, every single week, since he made his, what he called, biggest return in WWE history, and we all thought that was underwhelming, right? And he's coming out here thinking he's the most extreme superstar, and he's an ECW legend, and credit to Matt, he did also come up through ECW. Not the original ECW, the shitty WWE version that went away before this came back and breathed new life into these initials. The previous system, the one that killed the letters ECW for good, that's what Matt Cardona helped build. And at WrestleMania at Philadelphia, the home of Extreme. We know some guys, we know friends. Philadelphia is our city. Philadelphia is ECW's city. And on that night, Matt Cardona, Hawkins, you're gonna learn the true meaning of the word extreme. Out comes Cardona, Hawkins, and Chelsea Green. And he goes, Bubba, God, will you shut up, man? We get it. You were in ECW back in the day. That only means one thing to me. That means you're old as fuck. And if you're old as fuck, that means one thing to me. That means I'm going to beat your ass at WrestleMania. Hell, when was the last time Devon even wrestled? I know you like to leech off the young stars on the indies and, try and revitalize your career. But hey, you sure Devon still got it going at him. Because you don't understand who you're dealing with. You're dealing with the Extreme God. The Extreme King. You're dealing with Matt Cardona. You're also dealing with Kurt Hawkins. And we're going to embarrass you in front of your people at WrestleMania in the home of Extreme. And finally be crowned kings of Extreme. Papa's all like, okay, nice speech, kid, but, we're going to go now. Like you said, we've got old man stuff to deal with. But hey, we'll be at Philly. We'll be at WrestleMania. And me and Devon in Philly, we know a lot of people from Philly. So, see you there, kids. Oh, and Chelsea, Queen of Extreme. We know a lot of people in Philly, that's true, but we also know some from New Jersey. Out comes Liv Morgan. And then Liv Morgan and Chelsea Green is the match up next. 76. That's perfectly acceptable for Liv Morgan versus Chelsea Green. Liv wins in 8-16 with the Oblivion. 75 for Liv, 57 for Chelsea. After the match, we see Shida. She's in her suit. Probably hair tied up. Heel makeup on. Mackenzie's like, Shida, impressive win for Liv Morgan here tonight. Last week, she challenged you to WrestleMania, and it's official that you will face your old tag team partner and friend at Liv Morgan at WrestleMania. Now, thoughts of what we've just seen. She just turns around and just goes, I'll let my thoughts be known in the ring at WrestleMania. And she just walks off. 77. Okay. Yeah. It's Ichiban's Minoru Suzuki and Shinsuke Nakamura against Emerson Frost and Ken Kobain of the Grand Jury. And it is Ichiban. It is Nakamura and Suzuki who pick up the win here. Shinsuke pins Emerson Frost with the Kinshasa because MVP. Just MVP. None of the other members of the Hurt Business are here tonight, but just MVP. Distracts the Grand Jury and allows Shinsuke to hit the Kinshasa and pin Emerson Frost. 74 for both the Grand Jury members, 80 for Shinsuke, and a 62 for Suzuki. So yeah, big win, especially when there's tag team stuff with these tag team championships going on right now. Speaking of, Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander appear in the crowd. Like in a skybox in the crowd. To sort of imitate, the segments they have sat in the empty arena. And congratulations, boys. Sure, it wasn't quite as official as we'd have hoped to see two Japanese legends do battle in that ring. But hey, you got the job done. That's all that really matters. Me and Cedric, we're not really ones to judge because we sort of captured these championships by unfair means. But we have been looking at all the tag teams here in WWE over the last few weeks, and we've come to a decision, and we've come to decide who we'll be facing off with in that 4-way tag team match at WrestleMania for these ECW tag team championships. And boys, I'm glad to say you made it. Can I get 3 cheers for Richie Band, ladies and gentlemen? They're going to WrestleMania. And we also feel like the Hurt Business, Ronnie Hughes and Damon Kemp, we're men of integrity. With the heart and soul of ECW here, we feel like we owe Damon and Ronnie a rematch for these championships, so consider them also a part of the 4-way match at WrestleMania. And the last team, Cedric, who was the last team? He's like, oh, I can't remember, Mustafa. It's on the tip of my tongue. I need to just. Sorry, he's like, what's the matter, Cedric? What's stopping you? Because I can't remember their names. It's on the tip of my tongue. I just have to, I guess, say his name.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
And Braun Strowman. Strowman come out on the ramp, pointing at the WrestleMania sign. Hendry's doing the belt motion. And there's your 4-way tag. It'll be Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander defending the ECW Tag Team Championships against the Hurt Business, Ichiban, and Joman. We then see Priest livid backstage, shouting at the Grand Jury boys, going, come on, it's MVP, okay? He's getting his head up and I'll go up because last week I speared his prized asset, Bobby Lashley, through a wall because Lashley thought he was going to get involved in my business, cost me my opportunity of being a champion. He got what he deserved. MVP then walks up and he goes, I hear you talking about me. You're talking about the almighty Bobby Lashley. Priest, you're a tough man. I don't want any fights with you tonight. I'm old. You'll beat my ass. But I know who will want to fight, and that's the almighty Bobby Lashley. And last week you took that man out, you charged him and put him through a wall. Do you know how little people on this earth could do that to the almighty Bobby Lashley? And tonight, consider it payback. Now, as far as I'm concerned, we're even. You cost Bobby Lashley an opportunity to become a champion when you took that spot in that open challenge last week. And tonight, I cost your boys the opportunity to be champions when I cost them the spot in this ECW 4-way tag match. But for Bobby Lashley, he might not feel the same way as me. Lashley might not feel like this is evil. Even. Lashley might feel like we need to settle this in the ring. The priest goes, name the time. Name the place. And I'll expose the Almighty for the fraud that he is. And he goes, I can think of the perfect time and the perfect place. Priest, as a matter of fact. That time, I don't know, roughly 7, 8 p.m. on April 6th or April 7th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, because the almighty Bobby Lashley challenges you, Damian Priest, to a match at WrestleMania. Priest just goes, WrestleMania, huh? Bobby wants to be embarrassed on the grandest stage of them all. Tell him I'll see him there. So yeah, Bobby Lashley, Damian Priest, a match that's come together rather quickly, but has also rather quickly become incredibly heated. And they're set for a match at WrestleMania. 83 rated match. Dolph Ziggler against his former partner, Bobby Roode. Yeah. Ziggler defeats Bobby Roode in 13-17 with a super kick. 79 for Ziggler, 78 for Roode. And that's one Paragon member down. After the match, he takes the mic. And he goes, WrestleMania season just gets old DZ fired up. Year after year after year, I used to sit there and I used to sit on the sidelines. And, well, this year I get a singles match at WrestleMania. It was always Money in the Bank. It was always Battle Royals. Multi-man this, ladder this. Until last year, I finally got my first singles match at WrestleMania in front of a live audience. Last year was one of the greatest years of my career. I became ECW champion, the inaugural champion of this lineage. 2024 hasn't been quite the start I wanted here. But hey, I'm still on everybody's lips. You still got Adam Cole, baby, walking around here telling stories about Dolph Ziggler, wanting to recruit Dolph Ziggler. What can I say? Even at my lowest, I'm a wanted man. Haha, wink wink. But, Adam Cole, baby. Usually, while I'm the one sitting around and waiting for my opportunity, waiting for my ball to be called, waiting and getting nothing in return. This year's different. This year I call the shots. This year I'm the former world champion who is on the rise and wants that opportunity at WrestleMania, will get that opportunity at WrestleMania. So Adam Cole, baby, you want me in the Paragon so badly? How about this? You and I have a match. 1-on-1, no bullshit interference. At WrestleMania. You win, I'll join the Paragon. You win, you have me at your beck and call. But if I win, story time of Adam Cole, baby, this Paragon stuff, it's over. Mic drop. Big challenge from Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler versus Adam Cole, WrestleMania. If Dolph Ziggler wins, Paragon's dead. But if Adam Cole wins, Dolph Ziggler does join the Paragon. And yeah, next week, like I said before, will probably be episode number 501. Because I'll probably do something for episode 500. But we do know 2 matches that will take place on that show. Following their, DQ finisher several weeks ago and the sort of new aggressive side of Lyra Valkyria, her and Cora Jade will face off once again. This time there will be no disqualifications, and they're going to, beat the hell out of each other in that environment. Plus, following the announcement of the tag team title match at WrestleMania, they're going to get a showcase 4-way match between the members of that match. The match will be Cedric Alexander, Braun Strowman, Damon Kemp, and Minoru Suzuki. What collection of 4 men that is. But then moving on to WrestleMania, the ECW side of the card really got fleshed out tonight, including ECW's main event for the ECW World Championship. It will be a triple threat match as the Roman Reigns, the ECW champion, the tribal chief, defends that championship and that crown against both Jay and Jimmy Uso, following, freeway tensions between all 3 men heading into the show. Plus, we now know the identities of the 4 teams in this 4-way tag team match for the ECW Tag Team Championships. It will be Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander, the heart and soul as they call themselves, defending against the Hurt Business of Ronnie Hughes and Damon Kemp, also against Ichiban, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Minoru Suzuki, and the dynamic duo of Joman. We also heard a very quickly bitter rivalry that's brewed between Damian Priest and Bobby Lashley, as those two men will hoss it out and settle their score at WrestleMania, and high stakes involved as Dolph Ziggler challenges Adam Cole Bay. If Ziggler wins, the Paragon's dead, but if Adam Cole wins, Dolph Ziggler must join the Paragon. 81, not quite as good as I was hoping, but still a pretty good main event. Florence beats Ali with the Rain Flow. This is just your standard ass main event. Like the first it's obviously a 2-segment match. The first commercial break happens, Julia's music hits, she walks onto the stage, and they were like, oh my god, what's going to happen, stay tuned. And then at the end, we cut to just sat ringside on a chair. Not on commentary, just sat ringside watching. Florence then just beats Ali with the Rain Flow, and we get a face-off, Florence shouting at her in the ring. Julia stands up, holds the belt up high. WrestleMania sign in the background. Show goes off the air. Boom. Simple but effective ending. 89 rating show. Quite a long, for ECW's gone over 30 minutes, so that's how you know it's a very talky episode of ECW. Not as much as, the one, right after the Chamber, but still a pretty talky show, because it's WrestleMania season, and I wanted to balance the card, because I think it's 30 matches across both nights, which means I would then have, there's the 2 Battle Royals, which are non-branded, there are the 2 Cruiserweight matches, which are non-branded, and then even then, you've got, non-branded matches, like the Liberty Championship, because that can float, but let's be real, that's a Raw match. Same with the Tag Team Championships, that's a SmackDown match. So, there was, 26 spots, and I wanted to make sure... No, there's another match that's not branded. I can't remember which one it is, because there was definitely an even number. And, they were split evenly. I wanted the same number of ECW, Raw, and SmackDown matches on the card. And it worked out fine. But yes, what matters more is what you thought of the show. Do know what you thought in the comments below, and don't forget, if you have any ideas for an episode 500, do let me know in the below as well. And I'll see you next time for episode 498, where Dakota Kai will explain herself following last week's chaotic ending. See you then.